Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing the followers pick my makeup tutorial. So you guys have picked every single product that is on my face right now. I really enjoyed filming this video for you guys and interacting with you all. So if you'd like to see how I got this look and what products I use that you guys picked, then please keep watching. If you voted on my stories, thank you so much. There was hundreds of you guys and I was really shocked about how many people actually voted and was a part of it, so that's really nice. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. First things first is using this primer. This is a little mini because I got a set of 3 professionals. I got this one, I got a hydrating one and a radiance one, I believe. I used to use professional years ago but haven't used it for a long time until fairly recently, so I was quite excited when you guys said that you wanted to see this one because it isn't one that I grab for all the time, just because I used to use it so much years ago. And I don't know, do you ever do that? Do you ever love something, fall out of love with it, and then you can go either way? Like, you'll either fall back in love with it when you rebuy it, or you just kind of like feel like the hype's kind of over and you'll just forget about it, which is kind of what I've done with this product. But it is a really, really nice primer. I think I like more hydrating primers these days, whereas back in the day when I used to use this, I was all about matte skin, like really heavy skin, and I don't tend to go for that kind of look as much anymore. But here we are. Onto foundation. You guys wanted to see the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I've recently done a video using all Charlotte Tilbury products to create a full face of makeup, so if you haven't already seen that, then go and check it out. I really enjoyed creating that video and I got so many DMs saying that you guys really enjoyed it, or that you was thinking of a product and you know it's made you buy it, or you know you thought the same thing. So that was really, really nice. One thing I will say about this primer, and if you watch that video then you'll know, but the smell of this foundation is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I understand that some companies don't want to put fragrance in the products because of, you know, people suffer with really sensitive skin and that can, you know, flare them up, but there is just a horrendous smell about this foundation that I think if you had sensitive skin it would want to reject it anyway because it just smells so bad. However, it's a really, really good foundation. I sound like I'm being negative about it. No, I really like this foundation. In fact, I think it's my new favourite foundation. That's how much I love it. I just wish that it didn't smell like it does, because it just really isn't nice. It's kind of like gone off paint or something. It is horrendous. I also thought I would go for an all white kind of look today because I really don't know what I'm going to use. The palette that you guys have picked has given me a choice of so many colours, so I was just like, I don't know what to wear that's not going to clash with the colours or just make it look a bit weird. So we went with all white just so that hopefully everything kind of flows and looks right together. Next product that you guys chose is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is brilliant. I don't blame any of you for picking this concealer, and I'd love to know whether you picked it because you've used it, you've tried it, you love it, or whether you've picked it because you want to see what it's like on. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. Tarte is a little bit of a pain to get here in the UK, but I believe you can get it on QVC, or if you keep an eye out on Tarte's website, if you subscribe to the mailing list, they will bombard you with emails. However, they do quite a lot of deals, and I think the shipping's about £8. It's expensive if you were just going to pick up the one concealer, but sometimes they do an offer. I got this when it was on offer because I think it's £24 for the concealer, and I think it was on offer for £12.50, so literally half price. So I got 2 and then I got the shipping, so it was kind of worth it. Or you could also have a look at what deals they have, because sometimes they do like bundles where you can get like a foundation, a primer and a concealer for such and such amount, and usually it's a really good deal. So if you haven't tried it, I really recommend trying it. My biggest piece of advice is it goes a very long way when you use it. but that is a good thing. You don't need to use a lot of it, therefore it's going to last that bit longer, so that's all fun and games. When I first bought it, I put on Instagram a little question box and I was like, tell me your first impressions of Tarte Shape Tape, and honestly 99% of people said you don't need to use a lot, a little bit goes a long way. So it is really good. A lot of people said it's very matte, which as you can see it is. So if you're on the drier side, then you know, maybe that could cause you a little bit of a problem. It's not the creamiest. And then the other comments were obviously that it's full coverage, which again you can see that it is. So it's great for nights out, it's great for a really flawless coverage. And as well, as a makeup artist, I really recommend to use heavier concealers if you're struggling with acne and lighter foundations. I think sometimes if you overload your face with a full coverage foundation, full coverage concealer, powder, like it just gets too crazy, whereas if you use a heavier coverage concealer and then use maybe a lighter foundation and really take your time to work it into the skin and just powder where you need to, then it can give you a lot better coverage because it just looks a lot more seamless. It's not caking, it's not sitting on top of any of your acne. So definitely try that if you're struggling with acne and you need a little bit of help with foundation and concealer. That is something that I always do for any girls that ever come to me with acne, or when I worked on a makeup counter and they would be picking up the full coverage foundation and I could see what the problem was. And one of obviously our questions was, you know, what is it that you're looking for, what is your problems with your skin? And I would just sit them down and say, right, let me show you full coverage, concealer, everything, how you would do it on this side of your face, and then let me show you what products I'd recommend in this, you know, heavier coverage concealer on this side of your face. And honestly, 10 out of 10, they would always pick the side that had the concealer and the lighter foundation, just because it is more skin-like then and it doesn't look as obvious that you're trying to cover something up. Okay, so on to powder. You wanted to see the Huda Beauty powder. This was such a close tie to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I think it was like a 49 to 51 kind of situation. In fact, a lot of the products that you guys picked, it really was so tight with the votes. So if you want me to do a part 2 to this, then please give this video a thumbs up and I will definitely do a part 2 because I'm really enjoying doing this and everybody voting on the polls and getting involved. So definitely give this video a thumb up if you want to see a part 2. So speaking of fragranced products, what is your opinion? I'm sure I asked this on another video, but it doesn't bother me because obviously my skin isn't sensitive, I don't suffer with it, and I do quite like having a nice smelling product. If you've got any of like Huda's products, then let me know what you think of the smell of her stuff, because I really like it. It does smell a bit like your nan's handbag but I personally really like it. It's just such like a florally scent, but I know that people absolutely hate it, and I know that's like one of the biggest criticisms that they have on some of Huda's products. So let me know what you think because I genuinely like it. Well, this is a very full coverage matte situation that we've done today. I am just going to take a little pause and I'm just going to spritz over my skin. So I'm just going to take the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set Spray, just because it is a very matte full coverage situation that we've got going on, and I don't want it to get to that point of looking cakey or it feeling like your skin needs a bit more life into it. So that's a little tip for you guys as well if you don't already do it. If you're applying a lot of products, and especially a lot of powder products, then definitely spritz halfway through as well as the end, just to give your skin that little bit of hydration and that little bit of life back. I like the way that it melts all your makeup together and it just looks a little bit more seamless and a little nicer in my opinion. Okay, so for bronzer I'm going to use Hoola's Caramel Bronzer. I'm not the biggest fan of this, I'm not gonna lie. I keep trying it. I keep trying to like it. I don't hate it, but there's just something about it that I don't love. But everybody else seems to love it, so I don't know what it is about it that just doesn't sit right with me. I loved the original Hoola for a contour, and again, that's one of them products that I used to use a long time ago, but I do have it still, but I don't ever reach for it. And then I saw how much hype this product got, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get that. And then I've just not been obsessed with it, which is just really sad. Do you see what I mean? Like, I like that. I don't think it looks bad. I don't think the formula's bad. But when I put my, you know, Doll Beauty bronzer on, or my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer on, or my Beauty Bay bronzer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. It's changed the way that the whole skin looks now. I just don't get that with Hoola Caramel. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Huda Beauty powder and very, very gently just kind of dust that over. I don't want to bake or anything today because, like I said, we're already quite full coverage and quite matte, that I don't want to add even more. But I just want to kind of dust a light amount of product just to kind of clean up that contour and bronzer. Moving on to blush, I'm going to be using the NARS Gilder blusher, which looks like this. If you haven't already tried NARS blushes, then you need to. They're really underrated. Like, I never hear anybody ever talk about NARS blushes, but they're some of my favourite. My first blusher I ever got from NARS, which you can probably already guess, but it was Orgasm, which, do you remember when that was such a trend? Everybody had Orgasm blusher. Don't mind the names if you've never heard of them, by the way. NARS's names are something else. But I went to IMATS in London with college, actually, and as soon as you walked in, pretty much the first stand was NARS. And I remember they had, like, I don't know if it was 15 or 20% off, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be like the best day ever, like all this makeup and, you know, 15 or 20% off. I can't remember how much exactly it was. And I remember getting the Creamy Concealer by NARS, which I still have to this day. I got Orgasm, I got Gilder, which is this one right here, and I got Luster, which is my favourite all-time NARS blusher ever. I absolutely love it. And again, if you're not a massive blush person, I mean, I love blush, but if you're not a massive blush person, or you just like something quite natural and neutral but that just gives your skin that something else, then definitely try Luster. Everybody that I put it on that says like, oh no, I don't want blush, and I'm like, let's just add a little bit of this, and then I show them. I've even broke this. This is how loved this product is. It comes with me everywhere, you know, bridal makeup, everything. I always use it, and this is it. So as you can see, it's not in your face, it's not too bright, it's not a crazy blush. It's really, really pretty. I'll do a look using this soon so I can show you guys, but it's just an absolute staple. It's something that suits pretty much everybody, and I really, really, really recommend it. And if you're an MUA, then I definitely recommend it for your kit. So definitely try Luster by NARS. And this is what I mean, I just think that NARS blushes are so underrated. I also love Dolce Vita. I have had people request for me to do a collection video, and maybe I should show you guys like my favourite blushes, my favourite bronzers, what I have in my kit. I'd love to film that video because I love watching those kinds of videos as well. So on to highlighter, you guys chose the Doll Beauty Highlighting Duo. I use this so much. 90% of the time if I've got highlighter on, I have this product on, and I can never just use one. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use Shine Bright, or I'm just gonna use Like a Diamond, and then 2 minutes later I'm mixing. So speaking of, I'm just gonna mix between the two. And I'm just going to apply a little bit on my cheekbones. I'm going to take a little bit on my brow bone, and it's kind of a bit like a backwards C. And then I'm just going to take a tiny bit on the tops of my temple. So again, I'm just going to take a little bit of that e.l.f. mist and I'm just going to spritz it over. I don't want this look to be too cakey or anything. However, it is all sitting really, really nicely. That foundation honestly is beautiful. I know what I've said what I've said about the smell, but it honestly is beautiful. We can deal with the smell for how amazing the foundation is. On the brows, we're going to be using the Be Perfect Indestructible Brow. They've just brought out a brow soap, and I've been watching a few reels on people that have been using it, and it looks so good. Isn't it crazy when you look at trends just even a couple of years ago, like how everybody loved such a sculpted brow with such a dark tail but then such a fade in the front, and now everyone's into like really, really fluffy, you know, light brows. It's crazy how quickly the trends change. If you have, here's a question for you all, if you have a good amount of hair, so I'm not talking about the people that, you know, overplucked and don't have much brow hair, or, you know, unfortunately people that lose their hair for all kinds of different reasons, but if you have like a good amount of brow hair and you don't necessarily need tattoo brows or microbladed brows, would you consider getting it anyway just to make your life that bit easier where they're already pretty much done, or not? Because I did a hen party a couple of years ago. Girls did microblading and she'd done pretty much all the girls that were at the party, and all of the brows looked absolutely amazing. This girl was insane at brows, and obviously she had hers done as well, and they all just looked lovely, and most of them had, you know, really good brow hair to start with. You could tell, you know, they were quite full brows anyway, but it just kind of finished the brows off. It looked really nice, really clean, and it did make me think, you know, should I get mine done? That would look really nice. But the only thing that scares me about the whole situation is that trends change so quickly. If you got something that was, and I know they do fade, but obviously it does take a while, and then obviously the colour goes a little bit dodgy as well, or it can do. Would you want something that is that permanent on your face, especially with the way that trends change, and especially maybe in my job, whereas obviously I need to keep up with the trends? So I would love to know your opinions. Would you get microbladed brows even if you had good hair? I'm just going to take the teeniest amount of that tart shaped tape again, just to kind of tidy up underneath. It's funny because when this was like a big trend to clean up your eyebrows, I was never really into it. It's actually only recently that I've started doing it, but I really like it. I don't like to use a concealer, obviously, that's really, really pale and it gives you like a really, you know, like the line underneath. I'm not doing that at the minute, but just a ever so slightly lighter concealer that just gives you that little tiny bit more of a cleaner look and a little bit more of an arch, I've been absolutely loving. Okay, so for eyeshadow, you guys have given me a huge palette to pick from with lots and lots of colours, so I've been quite stuck as to what to do. But looking at it, I'm really drawn to the oranges. I do love a good orange, and you guys do want to see a pigment. You voted to see a pigment or a glitter over the top of an eyeshadow look in this. And if you've watched my Peaches and Cream collection, I did show you all a pigment called Flamingo, which is like an orangey pink. So I thought I might do like an orangey pink vibe, which is going to be quite summery, and I know we're not in summer, but just bear with me. and try out this flamingo pigment, and then we're going to do the wing liner because you guys wanted to see liquid liner and have a really nice fluffy lash, I think. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow and just see where we end up. So I'm going to take Just Peachy, which is one of the orangey shades, and I'm just going to take it all over the lid and then up to my crease, and I'm just going to kind of bring it out in like a winged shape. And I'm going to do the same again on the other eye. So I've just built that pigment up a little bit. So I'm just going to go in with Tutti Frutti in the crease, just to give a little bit of depth. I don't want a really structured look today. I want to go for something that's a little bit softer, a little bit more blown out. I've recently been doing quite colourful makeups on Instagram, which I did quite a lot in the summer. Halloween, because again, I did so many like dramatic looks. I kind of decided I was just going to do more like still colourful but wearable glam, whereas I've been doing kind of colourful glam that you wouldn't really wear out. And now I feel re-inspired to dip back into my colour palette. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that there and I'm going to add the pigment. So I'm going to take the e.l.f. spray and just give that a really good spritz. And I'm just literally going to dunk it straight in. Tap off, because otherwise you'd end up with a crazy amount. And I'm going to dust that all over. So I'm just going over where I've placed the eyeshadow. And I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but it's just giving it such like a beachy like shimmer. I feel like this is so summery. I'm doing this at such the wrong time of year. But it has actually been sunny today, which it hasn't been for what feels like a lifetime. So maybe I'm just inspired by the sun today. And I'm just going to take Moonlight, which is another peaches and cream pigment. I'm just going to take this in the inner corner and onto the brow bone just to make it pop. I did manage to get away last January before Corona was even a thing, which was really lucky, but obviously haven't been able to go away since. But I'm looking forward to nothing more than walking down that plane aisle, sitting in that seat and just being on full holiday mode. I didn't ask you guys which kind of liner you wanted me to use, just because I thought, you know, liquid liner is liquid liner. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild H2O proof liner. It's got a really nice tip on it, which is why I like to use it. Wing liner done, now onto mascara, and I'm going to be using one of my favourites that you guys have picked, which is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I am yet to find a affordable mascara that's better than this. If you guys have a favourite mascara that's affordable, that is better than this, then please let me know, because I have my high-end favourites, but this is just like the reigning champ of affordable mascaras, so definitely let me know. And then when I do like a affordable makeup look, I could maybe use that and see how that goes. In my lower lash line, I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of that Tutti Frutti. I was considering a pop of colour for a little moment, but we're colourful enough, I think. And then I'm just going to blend it back out with the Just Peachy shade that we used first. And then for lashes, I'm just going to go in with some of the Grwm lashes. Oh my gosh, don't lashes change everything? I don't know how I'd ever do a look without lashes now, because I just believe they just change the whole look completely, and I absolutely love it. This style is so pretty. It's Valerie by Grwm lashes, and I'm just absolutely obsessed. They're really nice quality too, so I'll leave a link in the description that you can go and check them out. Onto lips, I forgot to ask you guys if you wanted lip liner or not, so I'm just going to use lip liner anyway, and I'm going to use the Peaches and Cream Praline lip liner. And then for gloss, I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty Fussy Lip Balm. These are just the best glosses. If you haven't tried, you guys need to try. I was late to this bandwagon. I only got this colour I only got at Christmas. My other shade I think I got around October time, so I was really late to it, but you need it. One final spritz with the e.l.f. spray. We look like we're ready to go to a beach club. Unfortunately, we're going to beach club of the living room. Thank you, Rona. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed this video. I liked having you guys interact with what makeup I'm using, and I really enjoyed just chatting about the products and creating this very summery look. Hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one.